Happy President's Day. Hi guys, my name is Christian and I'm with Undik. Up there is the logo. And with me today is also my lovely chief treat tester, Hazel. She's a Labradoodle, and Hazel turns actually 4 years old this year. And she's gonna come here in a second to help me to show you some of our pet products, but let's get started. In the middle section, I show you the news about the farm. But let's get started with the products. If you have any questions, please pop them in the comments. Please leave a like or follow. Actually, followers of our brand on Amazon get sometimes specials with special discount codes. You see that directly on the product listing. So if you leave a follow there somewhere around here on our Amazon page, you get a special discount on certain products. It pops up automatically. So please don't forget to leave a follow there. Let's get started. So we are a network of quail farms here at Undik. We are not just a brand. We are farmers, all family farms here in the United States, and I'm out of New Jersey. Everything you see on the show today is made or laid in the United States, except me. I was blown in here 10 years ago, but that's okay. Speaking of blowing stuff, Easter's coming up soon. We're already busy blowing out those eggs as well to make hollow quail eggs. You see the packaging there. So they will be back in store as well. But let's talk about quail eggs. So fresh quail eggs are obviously a treat for you and your pet. My pet is still taking her break over there. I think she joined the doggy union or something like that. She needs to have a break before the live show, but she will come in a second because anyway, let's get back to the product. Quail eggs are very rich in nutritional values. For example, vitamin B12 in a single quail egg, you get 10% of the daily recommended value of the intake for an adult of vitamin B12. It's full with antioxidants, which are great for the skin. It has vitamin D, it has zinc, and a lot of other minerals and vitamins, so it keeps you healthy, that little quail egg. And we ship them out as a dozen, or you can order multiple dozen. Right now we have a great sale on them as well, so drop them in your shopping cart for the next weekend to have awesome little quail eggs on your breakfast table. And speaking of breakfast tables, Hazel, don't snoop around over there. You don't see what's happening behind the camera, but Hazel is a little dazzle, as I like to say, snooping around here. Speaking of the breakfast table, we designed a perfect size, and let me show you this a little closer up, guys. Perfect size egg cup as well for our quail eggs. So, if you think about tiny cooking, you can, use an egg cutter, cut the top off there, and then you could actually make a soft-boiled quail egg. Boil it for like 2 to 3 minutes, and you're gonna have an awesome soft-boiled quail egg. Now, as you can see, Hazel joined me now. Hi, darling. I just realized she didn't get any quail eggs today yet, but with dinner she will get one. She gets a fresh quail egg every day, and I think she's just happier that way. She looks healthier, and makes her just a happy girl. But she was lucky because we processed some quail early on, so she got some liver and some hearts, so she already has a bit of a full belly. But let's see if we can treat her with a little bit freeze-dried quail egg as an appetizer before her main dinner, because now we get into the pet treat section, and I show you guys what we got for dogs, cats, and all carnivore animals. I know there's people out there that keep ferrets and foxes, so we have some good stuff for them as well. So Hazel, wanna have a treat? She went downstairs looking for mommy or something. Hazel, come, treat. So this is a great treat Hazel gets when we go camping as well. And it's a food topper. Let me open it up on the very gorgeous setting. Not gorgeous. You are gorgeous. You confuse me. One day we're gonna do it the other way around. She does the talking and I do the food tasting. Huh? That would be something, Hazel. Now, Hazel, you get a little bit of the food topper. And while you lick that off my hand, here we go. I tell the people what it is. So when it's really freezing cold out there, we ship less hatching eggs, or if it's really hot in the summer, this is when we take the time on our family farms to freeze dry those gorgeous quail eggs and bring then to you this shaker, as I call it. So this is an entire dozen of freeze-dried quail eggs. It's a nice shaker, makes a little mess right now here. Shouldn't leave any stains, and as we see, Hazel is the cleanup crew right now. Normally, you spread it over the food of your pet, so your cat, your dog, your ferret will love it. And through the freeze-drying process we use here on our farms, we preserve all the vitamins and all the minerals in those quail eggs. And we bring them, fresh and shelf stable to you guys, right? So this little shaker has a ton of vitamins in there, and I got a lot of reports from customers who bought them already. Some picky eaters suddenly started to eat again because they saw something nice is happening on their food. So it's a great food topper for you guys, and you support one of our family farms with your purchase there. Let's stay with food toppers. My sister-in-law, she has a couple of pets. Some of them are older, and they couldn't have any crunchy treats, right? So we came up with this treat. Let me show a close-up here. So here we are. This we call the pet cotton candy. And why we call it cotton candy? Because it looks like cotton candy. It's nice and fluffy. And what it is, it's dehydrated quail meat. And quail is a game bird, so very healthy, a lot of nutrition in there as well, not as much fat in there. And this lovely, lovely treat there is great for senior pets or younger pets when their teeth are not that great anymore. So you can use it also for any pet, carnivore pet, right? Anybody who eats meat as a food topper. Or you can just give it as a treat like I do now to Hazel, to a senior pet, to a younger pet. And they will show their love to you as Hazel does. You missed a spot here, Hazel? Yeah, can you clean that up? You know, we are Valentine's lovers, so it's okay if she licks that off my hand for today, for the show. But the pet cotton candy, it is 2 ounces. Lasts a long time. Depending how you use it, if you use it often as a treat, might not last as long, but as a food topper for sure, an entire month together with the meals of your pet on top. And so it's a great product made here in the US on our farms. And we do have a bundle offer where you can save extra money if you want to try out both of them. And then you can combine them, or for the morning, use a bit of the dehydrated meat. For the evening, use a bit of the egg food topper. Now, one disclaimer, and since Hazel is not in the picture right now, I can tell you a little secret. Well, when she has either this or a fresh egg, her farts are deadly. It's a bit smelly when she farts. But that means also all those good stuff in there, it's good for her belly, for her digestive tract, right? And that a good smelly fart means the dog is healthy, right, Hazel? It's an egg fart. What should I say? A little disclaimer there. I want to be honest with you guys. Now, we do have a sampler pack as well. It comes in a package like this, and you get 1 ounce of each. We have then in there the meat as well, the freeze-dried quail egg, and something extra crunchy. And that's a dehydrated eggshell, which is also great for hermit crabs. And we have a separate product in our store. So if you click on any product below and click on Undike store here on Amazon, then you will see the whole collection, our entire product portfolio, what we have, all based on quail, and a few gardening products as well, or supplemental products for quail keepers, which I'm gonna get into a little later. Now, let's talk for cats a little bit, huh? It's actually not just a cat product, it's also for dogs. So when Hazel here was a little puppy, we started to play with that little toy with her. But the idea comes from my daughter. She has cats, and obviously they're not here right now with Hazel. That would be too much for me to handle. But cats like to play. And every cat owner who has an outdoor cat knows that a cat, the natural instinct of a cat is to hunt for birds, and they might bring you from the backyard a little present in. Now, your little tiger at home doesn't need to go hunting outside anymore. Your indoor cat can play now real bird play, but also our wings from the quail. We don't want to waste anything of those gorgeous birds. Those lovely wings, I show it here in a close-up, if I press the right button here. Those wings on the string obviously make a great cat toy. If you click on the product below, there is a couple of videos, one my daughter made and one we got from my customer sent, and we uploaded it there. So you see some cats playing there with the toy. It's a natural quail wing. We don't put any chemicals, no salt, no nothing on it. We just air dry it. There's not much meat on them. They're bones. They don't splinter like chicken bones. Some feathers might come loose when you have a tiger playing rough with it, obviously. But it's a natural product. And as it happened, of course, my little Hazel here ate a couple of them. The next day she pooped out some feathers. She was fine otherwise. She broke down most of the bone actually. And yeah, I mean, my biggest fear as a pet owner is what if she eats a plastic toy, right? This is an all-natural toy. Even if the worst thing happens, and I had a customer once contacting me as well and said, my dog got too excited and ate the whole thing. And then I got a follow-up message the next day. Yeah, pooped some feathers and the string, everything okay. But anyway, it's not food, it's a toy. But you know, you always should think about when you buy a toy for your pet, what happens if the pet gets too excited, the dog for example, and eats the whole thing, right? So with a natural product, nothing bad can happen. It's not a plastic toy. The only plastic is about it is the packaging. So if your dog, for example, plays with it and it gets a little wet, just make sure it dries well before you put it back in, that it doesn't get moldy or anything like that. That's just, you can also, you know, lay it in the sun in the summertime or with a little hair dryer. Just dry it off. Make sure when it's wet not to put it back into the packaging. That's the easy handling instructions, right, Hazel? Hazel doesn't show much interest in that anymore because she's a big girl now. She's not a puppy anymore, right? Also for this, we do have a bundle offer here. So check that out. It comes with the cotton candy, and which is no artificial flavors or no artificial coloring. I know cotton candy is normally pink, but we left it in the natural yellow as it comes out from the bird. And so you can get that as a bundle. Now, I know you guys are all just watching because of Hazel, not because of me. So let me show Hazel's most favorite product. And that actually got a little portrait of her on it in a comic style. I can show that here a little bigger as well. And that's the Quail Crunch Bites with Hazel on it. It's again made from quality quail meat from non-GMO raised or fed quail. And when I open it, Hazel comes and does her job as a chief treat inspector, and she needs to do something for it. Up, good girl, and sit. She needs to work a little bit here, right? Otherwise, yeah, I didn't say paw yet. Yeah, now I say paw because I say paw. Anyway, but you get the idea. Anyway, she needs to work for it a bit for a special treat. Lay down here. Yeah, lay down. Lay down. Yeah. Stay. Good. So those are little bites. It's jerky and there is some white spots in there, and that's actually eggshell we put in there for an extra crunch. There you go. Ah, could you hear that crunch? Isn't that nice and crunchy? Right now I have some smaller pieces in there. They might not sound as crunchy than the bigger ones, but this package is nearly empty. We have to refill that. Remind me next time before we go live. Okay, go for it. So they're nice and crunchy because we put eggshell in there, not the entire egg, just the shell. So to make it crunchier, right? To make it crunchier for our little guys here. Sorry, I'm thirsty, and while I drink water, I want to mention, always, provide water, of course, to your pet when you feed treats. Hazel has a bowl over there as well, right? Isn't that a great picture of you? I know it's already a year old, but it's still great, the picture, right? Yes. That stuff lasts a long while, or actually, if you have a little gourmet at home, maybe not as long. It's about 4 ounces, I believe, 3.2 ounces. Next time when we package them, I have to remember how much I put in there. Boy, I had a long day on the farm, and we're going to get to that in a second. But let me give her a little more. Give paw. Good girl. And a special insider tip. it always happens that a few little crumbles end up in the packaging. Don't throw those crumbles out. Put them as a food topper on the top of your pet's food. Now, Hazel, what is the next treat we show? Yes, you're right. Let's stay with the crunchy stuff. So we really want to use everything from those lovely birds. And therefore we use also the spine of the quail. I mentioned earlier on the quail bones, they are not, they don't break as chicken bones. So they are not harmful for your pet. Actually, it's the other way around. We're gonna soon go to the vet again. In March is Hazel's birthday, and we always go around her birthday to the vet and do a checkup. When we went last year, the vet told us she has beautiful teeth and we don't brush them, but she gets a crunch stick every once in a while. And that might help a little bit as well to keep her teeth so nice and clean. Now I do, don't judge me, any pets at home, don't judge me if I do this now. I break it in 2 pieces, the treat. And now Hazel, give me paw. Good girl. Do you hear that? You know now why we called it crunch stick, because it's nice and crunchy. And I wanted to show that close up if Hazel doesn't go. Yeah, I know you want that. I just wanted to show it close up. So this is the part where I did break it. As you can see, they don't get really sharp edges, those bones from the quail. Yeah, Hazel, you want more? You want more? Give me kisses. Give me kisses. 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 Da da da. Yeah, kisses. We have to learn that again. Come up. Kisses. Yeah, paw. Okay. Kisses. Kisses. Well, I guess she kissed me too much on Valentine's Day. We have to learn that one more. I know you shouldn't have given you that treat now because you didn't give me any kisses. Give kisses. Hazel. Are you still mad with me that I didn't get you flowers? Seriously. You got treats for Valentine's. Give me kisses. No. Okay. Can't force you there. Okay. We do have quail feed as well. And we bring them in. They are nice and crunchy too. Cats like them a lot to have something to chew. So we have this small pack here with 10 quail feed in there. Or we have the bigger pack. There's about 62 of them or 60 pieces in there, 2.5 ounces. Great if you want to do bird dog training, right? So obviously the quail is a game bird, and if you want to train your dog to be a bird retriever, then you need something which smells a bit gamey. Therefore, all kind of quail products here would be perfect. Don't buy these artificial scents which are made in a lab somewhere to train your bird dog. Use the real thing, and that is really a good value pack here as well. Right, Hazel? You like to chew them too, but you don't get them now. Otherwise, you're busy for a while, and then you pay no attention anymore. But we have to show a few more products before we show them the quail hatching products. Hazel is also motivated by love, not just by food, which is a good thing. And I still don't see you guys because I should have made my hair before I went live. Anyway, c'est la vie. Now, Hazel did such a great job now, so she gets a special treat. We can do bigger birds here as well at Undik. And so we have a couple of duck hearts here from our partner farm up in New York State. Yeah. And you can see that's a premium dog treat because Hazel gets all excited. Duck hearts are really good. They're freeze-dried that we can preserve their quality. They're about 2 or 3 times the size of a quail heart, so they're, a bit more. We get more for the processing for the buck there when we do that, right, Hazel? Yeah, you come up, yeah, and sit. Give kisses, 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 kisses. She doesn't know that yet, that command. Yeah, excuse me. Excuse me. Back. Yeah, good girl. You see what I did there? Yes, you're a good girl. You are such a good girl. Now you had a lot of appetizers. I talked to the people a little bit more of dog treats, but you're gonna take a break now, okay? Because the union said not more than 4. In our last employee kind of talk with our chief treat tester here. We talked about it that she gets 4 treats during each show, and then she's happy, right? Are you happy now? Maybe you get at the end of the show one more treat. Is that a deal, Hazel? Yeah? You want to lay down in the meantime? Please don't knock over that camera, and I show the people some other cool stuff. We do have a cool kit. Comes in a package like so. We're gonna work on a smaller packaging that it's for the pockets for bird dog training specifically. Guys, Father's Day is coming up in March. Just a little reminder. So if you know a hunter out there, look for a gift for them. And he happens to have a dog and likes to go hunting with the dog, get him this Quail Wing dog training kit. It includes 1 wing, like you saw early on. There's 5 crunch sticks in there. We also have the tie of the quail in there as well. So it's a great treat for the dog, but the dog owner, of course, is happy when the dog is happy, right? So a great Father's Day gift. It's coming up soon. I think in March as well. And get something nice there. Let's get into the news section. I have some small videos to show you what happened this week on the farm, and yeah, some updates, some tips about quail keeping in case you think about getting into that yourself. It's a great hobby. I just recently met a really nice guy here from New Jersey as well, who bought a few birds from me, and he just retired and looked for a new hobby. So shout out to Ron in case you're looking. And he got some gorgeous birds from us, but let's get into that. What we did on the farm this week. So let's check it out. Here we are. Okay, let me play this video about our lovely quail feeder balls. So let's check this out. Do we have audio? Yeah. Let's check it out here.
Wow, those guys already worked well on that ball here. Just think about it from the original size. First time they managed to do it so evenly. Awesome.
Yeah, you see here some English white quail in the back end, and this is the quail feeder ball. Let me see if I can highlight it here. There it is, the product right below here on Amazon. And so the quail feeder ball is something I have developed because of the mealworms here. You see them here. And the quail, you know, they picked out the mealworms. They run with it in the back of the cage, and that's where they drop them into their poop tray. So I figured I need to do something about that because I don't want to waste those mealworms I am raising here on the farm as well as extra protein source for the birds. And I came up with that idea. After the wing on the string, we have now the ball on the string. The quail knödel, as I'm originally from Austria. Everything which looks like a dumpling is a knödel over there. And so I work those mealworms into quality, high protein quail feed. The whole thing is being dehydrated. The string is worked into it as well. So this is handmade here in the US. And it brings a lot of joy to my quail. I use it there now since a couple of months. And as you could see in this video, they really love it. They have something to peck at, which is good for their little peak there, right? If you think about it, that keeps growing if they have nothing hard to peck against. And with those cage system I'm using, there is nothing really hard they can hit on. So with those quail feeder balls, they have something hard now. They have a bit of entertainment. They need to work for their treat there. I see less waste in the poop trays in regards to the mealworms because they get it out in pieces there. And it's just a great product and a nice enrichment for your birds. So I obviously do quality control, as you can see, and that's what I did yesterday here when I was cleaning the quail setup. I took a quick look. I was hanging some new balls in there into their cages. You see a English white quail here in the background. And yeah, the birds are happy, and if the birds are happy, then I am happy. What else happened? We had another... I was not online last week, so I tell you a little bit what I did the last 2 weeks. I'm sorry that I was not online. You know, sometimes on the farm we had quite a freeze over here. I had things to do with the water system. So, you know, it happens that I couldn't come online. By the time I realized that I'm not online, it was already really late. So I figured, okay, I had to skip the live last week. And yeah, one of the reasons was we do, all the time hatches here on the farm to test the fertility of the hatching eggs. So what you see here, for example, we dropped a few red range quail into the incubator. I have the product highlighted below. You see here some celadons as well. I dropped a couple in there just to test fertility. And that's what we do now every week, because we also, of course, we make the dog treats. We have local chick sales. We have to keep updating our breeding stock. And so this way we know that the eggs, what we sell to you guys, in case you want to incubate them yourself and keep quail, that we know that the quality is perfect. Otherwise, we just sell them as fresh eggs or make other products out of them, as you have seen with our food topper and stuff like that. Hazel is a lucky girl, as I mentioned earlier on. She gets every once in a while a fresh treat. So let's have a look at this quick video here.
Who gets a fresh quail egg? Hazel does. I open it for you. There you go.
And did you count that, guys? That was a double yolker, right? You could see 2 little yolks in there. Obviously, we don't want to sell them to you as hatching eggs because, twins in quail is very rare. They typically wouldn't hatch or would be very weak. So a double yolker, that goes to Hazel, or we sell them as fresh eggs, but not as hatching eggs. So be aware, if you think somebody sells you these super duper jumbo eggs and then it turns out to be double yolkers, that's counterproductive, of course, for your hatching program, right? Now, let's take a look here. Just this should be also educational. I'm not here to sell you guys stuff. I mean, yes, I am, but it should be also educational what I'm doing here. So I wanted to show you guys here our lovely little chicks, what we test hatch here all the time. This is a bit of an older picture. But since I have the heating plate here, I want to show you another picture on that as well. But I talked about the English white, and I've highlighted right below the black and white edition. So that's black quail and white quail. Here you see a white quail, and you might be wondering, why is this guy mentioning a white quail? I only see yellow ones and brown ones. Well, those yellow ones, they turn white when they grow up to I think around 2-3 weeks. You can see already that white comes out, and by the age of 6 weeks they are all white for sure. So I had recently a customer sending me a little complaint message. Hey, I think you packaged the wrong eggs. I got yellow chicks, not white chicks as I ordered. So a little heads up, the white chicks, well, the white birds, they hatch yellow, they change color later. You see here some Egyptian and some wild type, brown type quail as well. So we have quite a big variety on our quail farm, but also in our network, obviously, with all the farmers across the country, over in Texas, in Utah, in Louisiana, in New York State, in Florida, Missouri. So through that network, we can offer you the best quality of hatching eggs. Just a disclaimer in case kids are watching, always check with your parents if you order something online, because this is a fresh product, quail eggs, and we cannot accept returns on them. Now, there's so many variations, autumn sparklies and those lovely birds. So I'm actually a little exhausted because this weekend was also Quail Mania, a great online event by one of our friends, Jennifer from Brian's Roost. You see her egg foam in our online store as well here on Amazon. And Jennifer organized Quail Mania, and I was a speaker there as well, talking about quail business. And it was an awesome event. Hundreds of people joined online, and yeah, it happened now the second year. So it was really great to be part of that. And I was online on the chat and talking to people afterwards and before. And so I'm a little exhausted from that as well, and that's why my voice is a bit suffering today. Now, how does it look like when we do other things here at the farm? For example, I got some new equipment in for our own rental program, what we offer here on the farm for families. And when I get new equipment in, I always like to test it. And I actually had the case of a customer here on Amazon. he ordered eggs, and he got chicks. He was happy, and then the chicks started to die one after the other, and that's obviously not great. And he told me he got a new heating plate. And I just got some heating plates now myself. And the first thing I do is, you see here a little Goovy thermostat. The Goovies, you find them here on Amazon as well, the heating plates and stuff. But what I like to do is to double check. This one has a digital kind of temperature here on top, but it is off by a couple of degrees. And that happened to my customer as well. So that's why his chick started to drop one after the other. There was a big freeze where he's based out of in the country as well. And the chicks were just not warm enough. After they hatch, they need to have a 99.9 same temperature as in the incubator for the first 2 weeks in the brooder. So here I just do a little test on my living room floor in this case over time to see if this heating plate puts out a constant temperature. Of course, it dips a little bit with the environment of the room as well. In the nighttime, I don't have the heating fully switched on, so I see that little dip at night as well when I look at the thermostat. But then in the morning, when the heating kicks in the house, also the temperature here goes up. But what I'm really measuring is this heating plate constantly providing a good temperature and the temperature what I need for the quail in the brooding box. So if you're new to quail, or if whenever you get new equipment in, test it straight away, because then you still, can return it if you need to, if it's not working as it should. Or just before you even put in, the little quail chicks underneath. We don't want those little fellas. Here's a little figurine. That's the size of a quail egg when it's born, right? So that little fellow there, we don't want it to freeze. It needs to be nice and warm. So good heating plate is important. Some people like to use those heating lamps as well. I was a firefighter, and I just want to tell you guys, use heating plates rather than heating lamps. Even if you think you have it secured, maybe your dog or cat knocks it over. Main reason of fires on a farm or in a homestead is heat sources. Those heating plates are pretty safe. They produce about 99 Fahrenheit maximum. And so, don't burn down your barn or your house. So please switch out your heating lamps with heating plates. Now, what else we did this week? So we did process quite a lot of things. We are preparing for an event, a local event on the weekend, making more dog treats. We were sorting through the birdies. Here's some Egyptians, I believe. Yeah, turn around, then I would see it. I look forward to be able to use the power washer again. It's time for this 3 months cleanup and power wash those cages. Typically, it's much cleaner. Don't judge me. It's tough here in New Jersey to keep it clean. It's cleaner than if they would be on the floor, believe it or not. I have an aviary as well. I was battling the winter cold to just keep the water pipes from freezing, that the birds always have fresh water. I have a pretty good system now for that, so that's working out nicely. So I would say that's pretty much what happened this week on the farm. Maybe some older impressions. So in case you guys are somewhere where you get snow again, keep those fire hydrants clear from snow. That helps your local fire department in case something happens, that they're quicker. This is a picture I took before I cleared the snow in front of my house. Hazel, of course, was a great helper as always. I was warming up here by the fire while Hazel, with her little hoodie here, well, she helped a little bit during the winter time. Now, guys, speaking of Hazel, where is that Hazel? Hazel, are you sleeping again? Well, here we are again. A big people's favorite right now is the Faltfies quail. I just highlighted them down below. They come in a nice black and white coloring, but also check out the snowflakes. That's something new we got in the portfolio from Joe's and Dixie's farm in Texas. The lovely snowflake quail. Now, let's talk a bit more about quail keeping. You guys saw this rack here before, and typically it's sold without those inserts, with so-called goose racks. That's a goose rack. Let me show you. That's for, you put a goose egg in there, or a chicken egg will fit fine. Even some bigger quail eggs, you could lay them in there, but the best way to incubate quail eggs is with the pointy side down. And we have, for that reason, those inserts, those quail rails, which perfectly fit for the Chimuka, the also known as hatching time in the US, for those incubators, for the CT60, CT120, and the CT180. We use the CT180s on our farms. Mainly, we have some other brands too, GQF and that other stuff. But those rails are great. You could use them in a standard incubator as well if you just put it on the floor. But they go in here, and this one is made for jumbo whales, and we sell them as a pack of 1, pack of 2, or as a pack of 5. Nice, handy dandy thing to make your incubator, your egg turner, a little bit more compatible with quail eggs. Quail is the little brother of the chicken. What most people don't know about quail is they start laying eggs at the age of 6 to 10 weeks. If you have chicken, from the time they are born, from the time they are hatching, right, until they lay eggs, chicken take like 20 weeks or more, 26 weeks, depending on the breed, even longer. So last year, with the crazy egg prices, a lot of people went into chicken, and then they realized 3 months later they still didn't have an egg, because chicken take longer to lay eggs. Nice, get quail eggs. They're also nicer to keep, and the eggs are actually more nutritious as well. Big trend are button quail. Button quail are between the size of a quail chick and an adult quail, so they're about that size, the buttons, and their eggs are really tiny. Let me see if I have a sample there, or did I break that? I never use custom eggs here on the show because I don't want to touch them and then ship them out. So here we have a little sample egg for a button. Oh, that's really a tiny one. Let me show you guys here in a close-up. That's a button egg, about the size of a button egg. And then we have here an egg from a standard quail. Well, actually more of a jumbo, right? So you see the size difference, and for that reason you need another egg rail as well. By the way, the buttons, get them. People love the button quail. And the rail here is perfectly made for the button quail eggs. So you also just go ahead and slip them in here. Boom. 19 eggs. They also can be used for standard quail eggs. Let me show you that. I have a standard quail egg here. I mean, for jumbo, yes or no? That's a broken one. For a jumbo, you could use it, but it's not as stable as you can see, I hope. But for a standard quail egg, perfect as well. And you see the size difference here a little bit. Jumbo birds tend to lay bigger eggs, but we measure it by the size of the bird and not by the size of the egg. Even a jumbo bird can lay a smaller egg, but then the developing bird from that grows really quickly, and that makes it jumbo. Jumbo, the definition is 10 ounces at 10 weeks if the bird is healthy. So standard quail eggs, perfect for those egg rails. You can fit 19 in there. And if you have the jumbos, then use the jumbo rails for those incubators, right? They fit nice in there. And then it's 13. Okay, so yeah, again with those guys you can get single ones, you can get multiples of them. I think the 5-pack, we are restocking that right now. We have 2 packs. We're selling through them like hot cake right now. It's hatching season, right? So check them out now. And if it's sold out, just add it to your wish list and it pops up again when it's back in stock. But that about incubating and proper equipment for incubating. Now, one more thing I would like to show you guys is a feeder I have developed. And that feeder is for button quail as well for quail chicks. Here it is. Let me take a sip real quick. With those lights, it gets warm in here. I hope you are nice and cozy and warm where you are right now. Now, feeder, the button quail feeder, comes in a pack of 2. And you can use it for standard quail chicks, for button chicks for even adults or grow outs. We have optimized this one that you can actually use it on the grow out cages of the hatching time cages, the Chimuka cages. And let me show you a picture. I'm scrolling here with the little mouse to show you a picture how they look like when they are mounted in the quail cage. So let's switch over to that. Shooby dooby doo. Here we go, a little video. My prototype was yellow. We sell now the white version, so you can see any dirt much quicker and keep them nice and clean. So let's have a look how the chicks like it. So in the actual brooder cage or grow out cage from hatching time, you can see the chicks in the back already got the memo and found the food. The ones in the front maybe take a little longer to think about it. If they are a day or 2 days old, just put them on the ground so they can easier reach them. But then you can raise them actually in the cages. And each of them fit 11 ounces of feed. You can do pellet feed or crumbles as well. Even mealworms will fit in there. So 11 ounces in each of them. So it gives you 22 ounces. I usually have like 80 chicks in one level of my brooder. And for 80 chicks with 2 feeders, they have food the entire day. As you could see here, call me lazy, but you know, I have a couple of quails, so I have the entire front of the cages. I have a feeder in there. It perfectly fits into these slots, and I just fill them all up in the morning, and then it lasts me a long while. Here you see it on the grow out cage, mounted with the most favorite tool of any farmer, even quail farmers, with this zip tie. I used 2 or 3 zip ties here because I only had short ones around. Just fixed it there. On the top I can still see the birds and what's going on with them. I mounted it on the door so I can actually open it as well if I need to get into the birds there. And the benefit is, as you can see, I don't use the feed trays anymore because the birds, especially the smaller ones, they get out there, then they get cold. The poop in there, you know, you don't want that the birds poop into their own food. And with these feeders, they don't really want to stand on that. They don't really have anything to latch on there. And so, especially when it's a little elevated, they just eat up there. They don't crawl into it. There is no big gap that the birds can get out on the sides, so it's perfect and safe. And therefore, I think it's a great investment for your farm. You don't need to use the chicken feeders anymore. They are great for chickens, you know, those green, yellow, or red ones with these big holes where the chicks crawl into it and then scratch around in their feet and put the feet everywhere. Everybody keeping quail knows they are messy eaters. Food gets spread around everywhere. I have little dividers in here so that they cannot throw around so much the food. A little bit will be spoiled with those as well. I don't want to claim that they are a no waste feeder, because saying that about any feeder for quail would be a lie, because there's always a little waste of feed with quail. They are just messy eaters. Even if you just pick it up and flick it somewhere, that's what they do. No feeder in the world could prevent that, but I have measured it, compared with the standard trays and the old feeders I used, and those, they definitely, you're gonna see less food waste and cleaner food, and they are handy dandy and easy to clean. So get those as long we have them in stock right now. I think we just stocked them up again, so you should be good to go. Now, speaking of going, Hazel, wanna come one more time before we go and have a last checkup on the quail? And we have a big shipping day today because it was President's Day. That means the postal service was closed, and therefore tomorrow we go do a big trip to the post office with a lot of eggs, and I still have to package quite a few of them. And if you order now, chances are that they go out tomorrow are high because we ship quickly. And Hazel comes now to say goodbye. I want you to sit up here. Up. Come on, let's make a little picture, the two of us, for the people at home. Yo, give kisses. Give kisses. 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 She's still angry with me. Well, hopefully by next Valentine's Day she will love me again, give me paw. But until then, we say thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great week ahead of you, and please tune in next week again, 7:30 Eastern here live on Amazon. And yeah, check out our store and shop a little around there. Thanks for watching. Whew, okay, guys, that was the official part there for the Amazon viewers. And as you know, when you follow our YouTube channel, you always get a little extra here, a little extra scoop from the coop. Now, what we got extra for you in store today was a little development again. And thanks to a friend, Jennifer, she mentioned that we have implemented it already. That idea came up, I guess, during QuailMania. So let's take a look at it. I'm just gonna switch over now to my lovely browser here, and I show you the latest and greatest from QuailOS. That's the software platform I have developed for you guys. Once I have that little thingy here fixed, and I fixed that in a second because we don't want to have a blankie here. Oopsie daisy. Up. Now, that's what we want to see. QuailOS. In case you have been participating in and got the VIP ticket in the QuailMania, you know, you can, number one, you can sign up here for free, and all VIP users of QuailMania get a free upgrade to Silver for the next 6 months. And let's take a look what's new in here. So with the normal bronze tier, you can do everything in here in regards to tracking your egg production and so on. But if you have the silver tier, which is $9 a month, or it was in the QuailMania VIP ticket, as I mentioned, you get now a new button here, and that's the button. It's great on the mobile app as well, so that's why I developed it, that you can quickly, when you're out in the barn, make a note for later, or for example, track your eggs. And you see here, I already made some entries today. I do a lot of testing of it, and if I demo it now live, please forgive me, I have an Austrian accent, so it might not be perfect what it collects, but we also can correct it then. So let's take a look. I want to track 10 Celadon eggs and 10 white jumbo eggs. Yeah, as you can see, my accent, it's hunting me. Now, the AI might think a little longer. Oh, it thought I'm looking for an order. Yeah, well, my accent is not the best. If you try it out yourself, it might be different. But here with the help button, that just gave me a little hint here. You can do more than just tracking eggs with this. You can track finances. You can check on orders. Do the egg collection, or do just some farm notes. Let me show you the farm notes. So that's from silver or up subscription level. Let's make a note. Make a note that I have to put out the trash this evening. Well, it's getting there. I can obviously correct that if I want. And I'll just delete something what I don't need. So I can do a farm note real quick. I think you get the idea. With your accent, it's gonna be easier. It's saved, and you can find those farm notes again here in the office area where it says farm notes. So here we go. We also have new email assistant. So if you're a Gmail user, this email assistant is on top of your Gmail account and adds extra security. Some people might know, before I was full-time quail farmer, I was working for an email security provider. And for example, what I do right now quite a lot is, marking things here as scam or spam, especially a lot of different scams out there in the poultry world. And so you get extra level of protection on top of Gmail, but also you get some extra functionalities. If you have customers in there, there's then a direct link to their recent orders. So I saw the other day a breeder posting on Facebook, I wish customers would put in their order number if they email me when they ask at what time is their order shipping. Well, if you have QuailOS, this is all at your fingertips. Farm notes you saw, and another new thing is in the marketing area. So if I click on marketing, if you run an online promotion and you do one of those spinny wheels, right? So let me just, you could copy that over from Facebook if you do one of these raffles. Of course, I type Facebook now. But you get the idea. You copy all the raffle entries in here. I just type a few to give you an idea. I only have a couple of raffle winners in here. In this case, I have 4 people. You can customize that with your logo in the middle or a little video in the middle, for example. Customize background colors, and then you can go ahead and spin that wheel. You can do the whole thing in full screen as well, and then it shows the winner, right? So I hope you get the idea. You can do it full screen. You can record that, then it downloads on your computer a video, which you can then upload to your YouTube channel, to your Facebook, to your Instagram to announce the winner. You can also download just the image itself for a Facebook post and things like that. So thanks, Jennifer, for that suggestion. As always, anything community-based, you can report it here in the support section. Let me see, help and support. If you need any help on QuailOS, and you can request a feature here. So if you think anything is missing here, functionality you would like to see, type it in here. Your name is not being published. You can do feature request, and if it makes sense to add it to QuailOS, of course, I'm gonna develop it and make it available there. Of course, most of the features I try to do it free, but obviously with certain functionality where there's a lot of processing power behind it with AI and things like that, I need to charge a little, as we are not a non-profit organization here. If you need any support, you get free support, of course. You can do a support ticket in here. If you ship eggs or anything else, you can ship with QuailOS here in the shipping section, or you can hook up your online store with our online orders. So we have eBay, we have Shopify, Amazon, Walmart, Target Plus. And if you have any online store system I don't have in there yet, just open the support ticket and I'm happy to see if we can make it work. So a lot of new features in here. Mileage tracker is free to use as well to track the mileage, what you drive with your truck, because you can deduct that from your taxes. You have to track it either way, regardless if you do the standard deduction or the actual mileage deduction. The IRS requires both, so we consulted there with a tax specialist, and they say, yeah, you have to track it for both scenarios. So that's why we have the mileage tracker in here, and then in the reporting itself, you can export that here as well. So if I go here, feed inventory, for example, or we just talked about the mileage log, so you can download here an IRS proof for your mileage. So I just started using it as well, as you can see here. Very handy dandy. It remembers your odometer. And with the new voice button, you can do that via voice entry as well. So a lot of functionality. I don't want to bore you with that because in QuailOS itself, there is a lot of great training materials about QuailOS here on our YouTube channel as well. So now it's really time to say goodbye. I wish you guys a great week and see you around soon. Thank you.